Dragon Ball has been running for almost 40 years now, so that means almost all questions are answered, right? Not even close. These are 21 Dragon Ball mysteries that still remain unanswered to this day. For example, have you ever wondered who is Frieza's biggest customer? You see, we do know that Frieza and his family are in the business of selling planets, but who is actually strong enough, rich enough, and evil enough to buy planets from Frieza's family? And it's not like this business is a recent thing either, because we know that thanks to the episode of Bardock that even thousands of years ago, his family was still in the same business. So just what kind of clients had they been selling these planets to? But wait, why even go through all the trouble of invading planets, killing the natives, and then selling them anyway? I mean, as we saw on Namek, Frieza wasn't really there for diplomatic reasons. He wasn't gonna negotiate with the elders. Heck, he wasn't even planning a debt trap. No, he and his goons were there to take the Dragon Balls by force. So it's not like Frieza needs to run a business. He could just take whatever he wants by force. Who knows? Maybe Frieza's customer is a powerful and corrupt entity as well. Now, this is just the beginning and only one of the 21 Dragon Ball mysteries that still remain unsolved even to this day. Stick around to the end because these mysteries are going to get crazier and crazier with each point. Like, have you ever wondered about why King Kai is still alive when all the Kais who were killed by Buu remained dead? We are talking about that time when Kid Buu invaded the sacred planet of the Kais 5 million years ago. He killed the West Supreme Kai and the North Supreme Kai, and then proceeded to absorb the South Supreme Kai. And keep in mind that it's not just because there was a difference between a King Kai and a Supreme Kai. Old Kai was also able to just continue living on the sacred planet of the Kais even after giving up his life to Goku. So if we go by that logic, shouldn't the Supreme Kais who were killed by Kid Buu still be around and chilling on that planet? Am I missing something, or will we ever be given an explanation about that? And since we're talking about the death of Kais, let's talk about when Goku took himself to King Kai's planet right as Cell was about to implode. Everybody, including Goku, died. But Cell not only survived the self-destruction, he was even able to regain his perfect form, and then take it further beyond by becoming Super Perfect Cell. How did he do that? After all, he had already puked out Android 18 from his body, so how was he able to regain his perfect form regardless? What exactly did we miss here? And let's also talk about someone who took us even further down the pit. Back during the Tournament of Power, when Goku realized just how outmatched he was up against Jiren, he decided to pull out the classic Spirit Bomb card. He reverted back to his base form and gathered energy from his fellow Z fighters to conjure up a massive, destructive Spirit Bomb, which he then dropped right on top of Jiren, but Jiren was easily able to push it back. Of course, Goku did his best to control it after it was sent back at him. However, even with Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken times 20, he still lost the struggle. The Spirit Bomb imploded and took Goku with it. Basically, the same thing that happened to Cell now happened to Goku, but we all know how that ended, right? Even after Zeno himself thought that he was gone, Goku not only came out alive, he also awakened the Ultra Instinct. How did that happen? Are we still missing a crucial piece of information about the legendary Ultra Instinct? And speaking of the Tournament of Power, what the hell is up with angels? When Universe 9 lost and it got itself erased out of existence, the angel of this universe literally smiled. No, it wasn't just a smile, it was a grin, which begs the question, are the angels really just personal attendants of the destroyers? Or is there more to them? What if they're actually planning a coup together with their father, the Grand Priest? What if their ultimate goal is to drag Zeno down from his throne? We just don't know yet. And what's up with Zeno anyway? Yes, he is the Omni King, but why did he erase 6 universes out of existence? As we learned from Whis, there used to be 18 universes until 6 of them literally got deleted by Zeno. Why though? Disregarding it as childish doesn't make sense either, because Zeno always has the Grand Priest by his side. There has to be a reason why 6 whole universes got deleted, right? Also, do you think that when Android 17 used the Super Dragon Balls to bring back all of the erased universes, the 6 universes which were erased a long time ago were also brought back? Again, we have no clue about that just yet. By the way, if the Super Dragon Balls are powerful enough to bring back entire universes into existence, what do you think about their creator, the Dragon God Zalama? We know that in the Dragon Ball Super anime, this described the Grand Priest as one of the top 5 strongest in the multiverse. Could it be that Zalama is one of the other 4? What if the Grand Priest is top 1 and Zalama is top 2 when it comes to power level? And what is Zalama's connection with the Namekians? We know that the Namekians aren't native to Universe 6 or 7. They came to these universes from a different realm, so it is possible that the Namekians are actually distant descendants of the Dragon God. We do know that they took the shavings of the Supreme Dragons for making their own, but they obviously didn't just stumble across the Super Dragon Balls. There must have been a proper lore reason why the Namekians went on to create Dragon Balls on the respective planets, right? Which brings us to the Namekian Book of Legends. It was first mentioned when the gang summoned Shenron and asked him about the Super Saiyan God. Shenron referenced the Namekian Book of Legends when he explained the process of how to become a Super Saiyan God. Now, we all know that the book was actually written by an ancient Namekian elder, and remember how during the Namek Saga, Grand Elder Guru already knew about the Super Saiyan transformation? This all means that the ancient Namekians not just knew about the Super Saiyan, they also knew about the Super Saiyan God. So who was it? Which elder wrote this book? And which other secrets can we expect to find in it? I'd say there's going to be a pretty unexpected lore drop whenever the Namekian Book of Legends is is brought up again. Even though the previous point bothers me more than what most people think, the next one is even worse for me. You see, if we go back to the Super Saiyan God transformation, we know that Goku is actually the first Saiyan to reach this state. Yamoshi never became a Super Saiyan God, although he was a legendary Super Saiyan like Broly. But the mystery here is the legend of the Super Saiyan God. If it never existed, how is there a literal recipe on how to bring this transformation into existence? What if the legend originally comes from the ancient Saiyan race of Universe 6 instead? What if there was actually a Super Saiyan God in that universe, but as the flow of time continued, something happened, and the Saiyans of Universe 6 lost their original identities? I don't know. What do you guys think happened? And by the way, speaking of Universe 6 Saiyans, why were they not violent savages like Universe 7 Saiyans? Why is their history so different? And what did Kappa mean when he told Vegeta that the king of their planet is a proud man like him? There should be a reason why the story still hasn't revealed the history of Universe 6 Saiyans or even King Sadala. It is definitely going to be an insane plotline when Vegeta finally visits their planet. Though, it's not like it's just the Saiyan race that we need to learn more about. Like, we know about the Yardrats and how they taught Goku the instant transmission, and also how they were native to Universe 2 as well. But we still don't know anything about the Metamorans. Nothing at all! The only thing we know is that they live on planet Metamor, and they are the ones who taught Goku the fusion dance. The fusion dance consistently ends up playing an important role in the story. So do you think it's possible that we'll learn more about the Metamorans? And what do you think about that race from Universe 12 that managed to create a time machine before even Bulma and Dr. Gero? Universe 12 is one of the 4 universes that didn't have to participate in the Tournament of Power, and it seems that these universes definitely do have better mortals than Universe 7. Now, ever noticed how Mr. Popo has the same eyes as the Omni King? One Piece fans always speculate how Mihawk may be related to Emu because they have the same eyes. But what do y'all Dragon Ball fans think about this one? Why does Mr. Popo have the same eyes as Xeno? Interestingly enough, episode 91 of the Dragon Ball Super anime draws a clear parallel between them. In one scene, we see the Xeno duo. They are next to each other, and then as the scene fades out, we see the screen turns everything black except for one of their eyes. It literally looks as though it's Mr. Popo's face. And then in another scene, as Vegeta is entering the hyperbolic time chamber, Mr. Popo's eyes directly parallel the eyes of the Omni King as he tells Vegeta that if he breaks the room again, he is banned. What do you think? Is there a potential multiversal conspiracy here, or what? And ever wondered how Earth ended up with the hyperbolic time chamber? We know that there definitely wasn't one on Namek, so how did Earth end up getting a path to the Room of Spirit and Time? What happened? Was it Kami, or was it Mr. Popo? Since Mr. Popo is so careful of the place, was it him who created the hyperbolic time chamber on Earth? The whole thing is kinda suspicious. Like, how is a completely different dimension just chilling inside what is basically a temple? Moving on, let's talk about a certain character who is simply a complete wormhole of mysteries. We are talking about Zamasu. What was up with him? When Trunks sliced him up, how the heck did he somehow become the universe itself? Aside from Xeno's ability to erase universes, becoming a universe yourself is easily the greatest feat we have seen in the entire story. And why was he allowed to do what he did for so long anyway? What were Xeno and the Grand Priest, or even the gods of destruction of the other universes doing as Zamasu and Black pulled up and killed Supreme Kais one by one? We have to keep in mind that when the Tournament of Destroyers happened, Xeno literally pulled up to check up on them, and why they didn't ask for his permission. Was future Xeno just a bloke, or was Zamasu just too good at stealth? And what about the Grand Priest? How the heck did he allow Zamasu to completely mess up the multiverse to the point that Xeno nukes it out of existence? Which makes you wonder about what happened to the Grand Priest of the future timeline when Xeno erased everything. Did he evacuate to the Angel Realm? Where is that? And we can also apply the same question to Zalama and Super Shenron. Did they also simply cease to exist in the future timeline? What exactly are the boundaries of the multiverse? Where is the Angel Realm? And is Zalama inside or outside the confines of the multiverse? What about the angels of the 6 universes that were erased a long time ago? You gotta love how much the world building of Dragon Ball has evolved throughout the decades. So many questions, and still so much left to explore. By the way, who remembers Mafuba? You know, the evil containment wave that was created by Master Roshi's sensei, Master Mutaito? Now, this technique is powerful enough to seal pretty much anyone as long as they were evil. However, during the future Trunks saga, it failed both in the manga and in the anime, and it failed because of technical reasons. But after everything was over, Whis claimed that he knows something which is even better than Mafuba. What could he have been talking about? Maybe the Z-Sword which Beerus used to seal the old Kai? Or maybe something even better? And let's also talk about the gods of destruction. You see, we do know that Beerus and Champa are actually brothers, but then how are they also the destroyers of 2 different universes? How does that work? Was Beerus born in Universe 7 and Champa in Universe 6? But wouldn't that mean that they're not actually brothers? And if both of them are born in the same universe, then isn't it weird that one of the universes is being ruled by someone who wasn't even born there? The whole criteria seem even more silly when you realize that Belmont from Universe 11 is literally just preparing someone else to take over his job because he wants to retire. Yeah, we're definitely going to need an arc that explains the dynamics of destroyers, how they were chosen, and everything. A flashback of Beerus and Champa would be insane, but also much appreciated. And since we just mentioned Universe 11, what do you think about the villain who killed Jiren's parents, and then also took his master's life? Keep in mind that this isn't just a random demon or a monster. It's someone who was able to destroy Jiren's race and also kill Master Gichin, even though Gichin had been around in Universe 11 since before Belmod became its god of destruction. Heck, Gichin was actually friends with Belmod. He has been around for a long time. So whoever this villain was certainly powerful enough to kill someone who was friends with a destroyer. And there must be a reason why Jiren hasn't taken him out even after becoming the strongest in his universe. What exactly is going on here? And finally, we have Super Saiyan Rage. Remember back during Bulma's 38th birthday when Beerus slapped her and our boy Vegeta literally went mad with rage? His eyes blanked out, and he did quite well against Beerus considering how he was still just a Super Saiyan 2. But Trunks takes this supposed rage even further beyond. It's literally an actual transformation in and of itself. And with that, and also with a little bit of hope, he is able to personally slice up fused Zamasu in half. If we take hype out of the equation, it becomes very hard to justify such an incomprehensible increase in power. It's not like Trunks is a legendary Super Saiyan like Broly. So how is the Super Saiyan Rage state so absurdly strong? And will we get to see it again in the story? But what we can surely see is this video, where we present 28 secrets you probably never knew about Son Goku. Go on, click it!